Ed.
Authorize change order number 1, increase contract for public work pump station.
What's the increase for, do we know?
This is miscellaneous items, Mr. Mayor, that were encountered during construction, some moisture protection, there's some enclosures in this pump station, and just, you know, the normal course of construction, it's a $336,000 contract, we're up $4,000. So it's relatively minor by comparison. I mean, we're looking at every penny as we go, but primarily moisture control for the structure.
Move. Roll call.
Bassford?
Yes.
Vogler?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Kleiner?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes. 11L.
Appointing qualified purchasing agent and increase bid threshold.
Well, we have a qualified purchasing agent, I guess, formality.
Let me explain this. What we're doing here is a couple things. We're clarifying who the qualified purchasing agent is for the township, since there's one specific. The CFO is actually a QPA, along with myself and a QPA. So we have too many QPAs around, obviously. But the other thing is, what this does, it authorizes a threshold to go up under state statute and allows us to go up to $36,000. Some people may think that this is, you're giving freebie to the government to spend more or loosely. What this actually allows us to do is shop more.
This is the vendor list type bid, right?
Yeah, what happens is when you go up to, when you go over a certain threshold, you've got to go out for a formal bid. And a lot of times, especially under $36,000, I'll give you the best example is a car. You may want to buy a vehicle and you can go out and shop it and get it for, $19,500. If you go out and put out for a formal bid, that low guy may not bid because of the procedure, the process, the guarantees, and if you're good at this and with enough oversight, I think we have in the township now, we can get the best bang for our buck by giving us this flexibility within the threshold.
The state contract is not always by far the cheapest. A quick story: being the deputy mayor, we're at the League of Municipalities, and we're walking through the league, and of course you got your little tag on. And not was I looking at something for the township, I was looking at something for my personal business because the product looked interesting. And the gentleman says to us, we got this on special for state contract. So I said, really? He said, yes, it's 48,000 some change. I said, wow. So I said to the deputy mayor, watch this. I says, well, I'm not looking at it for the township, I'm looking at it for my personal use. I says, for my business, I would be able to use a product like this. Oh, wow. I could do about $38,500 for it. And I said, just remember that. So what you're saying is definitely a true thing. It's a lot of hoops and hurdles to go through for state contract, and it's not always the best way to go. Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. It gives us the ability to shop. We were talking about buying something the other day for $17,500, and for us to go and procedurally go through it, it's a formal process. You've got to pay for advertising.
Sure.
You've got to do all that process. This allows us to get, and being I've purchased for almost 20 years, it gives you flexibility to go and really shop something down and go up on the internet and buy stuff and really find the best price.
I agree with that totally. Hearing that, do I have any other questions or comments?
Move. Second.
Roll call.
Bassford?
Yes.
Vogler?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Kleiner?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Yes. 11M.
Support of fair school funding.
Questions or comments?
Between our local school systems and the Advocates, it's just getting crazy. So I do support fairer school budgets and money from the state.
Absolutely. I think all the children should be treated equally. Questions or comments? Motion?
Move.
Roll call?
Bassford?
Yes.
Vogler?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Kleiner?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes. 11N.
Appointing township manager.
Well, we did do an interview process. We had some great applicants. It just so happens that we did have Mr. Liston sitting in as an acting manager. I think he's done a great job. Again, you know, the applicants, I want to thank them for coming in and interviewing. Some of them were local, very local. And at this point, I think that we did talk about it in executive session. It's okay to talk about it now, right, Michael?
Yes, you can.
Just want to make sure.
You know what's going on.
Huh?
It was a memo of understanding you all received.
Yes. Yes. You know, explaining it. The township manager, we have come into an agreement with him that, you know, I'll get the details for sure. Okay. I think the township needs to know this. That the manager obviously was making a lot more money up at his previous job, which took a lot of life off of him from where he was at. We're coming down to a negotiated rate of $116,000. I think 200, if I remember exactly. 116, 200, 200. What we had come out with was the manager would do that. We have no health benefits to the township manager. We have no cell phone to the township manager. He's standing on his own merit. And I believe that what he brings to this township is stability, knowledge. In the last 2 weeks, you know, I got a lot of things going on myself with business and family. And the township is been in great hands. I feel, you know, it's great not to have to come down here, you know, every day or every other day. I feel very secure with this man sitting at the seat in that township manager's office. And the best thing that came out of this whole thing was that we sat in the meeting and he said that, you know, Galloway's in a tough spot. And you have the employees that are furloughing. And he said, I think it's only fair that I'm the guy that's in charge. I'm the guy leading this ship, and I think I need to lead by example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to furlough right with him. And I'm going to give you a 4-day work week. And that number comes out to be somewhere around 92,000 change. What is the number? I'm sorry.
93.2 is what the final number is.
Okay? This is a guy that doesn't have to furlough. Hasn't been furloughed in the past. But the employees are furloughing. And he said that, you know, we'll revisit it come the September number. If I need to be here 5 days a week, I'll be here 5 days a week. You got good employees here, and their families are bleeding, and I'm going to bleed right along with them. And to me, that's a true leader. He's leading by example, and I think that, you know, this is what the employees are looking for. Does anybody want to furlough? Absolutely not. But when the guy on the top is doing it, it makes you feel a lot better. In previous years, when you've had employees taking off and having to, you know, work jockeying corners or working bagging groceries at ShopRite or what have you they're doing, or babysitting, and there's still other people in the building. You know, to me, I just, you know, Arch, I want to thank you, and not as the mayor of Galloway Township, but as a taxpayer of Galloway Township. I really want to thank you for that. That was not something that we negotiated with him. That was something that he brought to the table on his own. And I just think the public just needs to know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have any other questions or comments?
Motion to appoint Arch Liston as township manager.
Second.
Roll call. Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. So is there going to be a separate resolution to execute the memo of understanding as well?
Yes, V.
Okay. Very good. Sorry.
That's okay. Roll call.
Bassford?
Yes.
Coppola?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes. No.
Authorize mayor to execute application for safe and secure program.
Questions or comments?
This is a grant.
No?
Second.
Roll call.
Bassford?
Yes.
Coppola?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes. 11P.
Authorize temporary budget appropriation increases in 2012 temporary budget.
Questions or comments?
Move 11P. Second.
Roll call.
Bassford?
Yes.
Coppola?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Tyrell?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes. 11R. Just for the record, we are still removing Q, correct, Michael? Just put that on the record that that is being.
Yes.
11R.
Awarding the Community Services 2012-2013 assorted clothing bid, one-year extension option in Resolution 95-2011.
Questions or comments?
Second.
Roll call.
Baster.
Yes.
Coppola.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Tyrell.
Yes.
Kirby.
Yes. 11S.
Reject all bids to purchase land in BT Block 275, Lot 14.
Mayor, if I could, I think everyone understands this issue. There was a meeting where I was out of town, and I believe at that point, at the request of the mayor from one of the individuals who the matter was tabled, I would report to council. I have not received any type of indication from the attorneys representing both parties that they are able to resolve the issue. This does not mean that it cannot be resolved in the future. It does not mean that the land may not be sold in the future. It just means that we want to return the deposit monies to these folks. And if, in fact, we come to a resolution, it's not going to cost the taxpayers any money in needless litigation, then maybe it will be sold again. Thank you.
Move 11S.
Roll call.
Baster.
Yes.
Coppola.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Tyrell.
Yes.
Kirby.
Yes. 11T.
Accept the donation of IBS Computer Rack from Open Solutions Inc.
Questions or comments?
Move.
Baster.
Yes.
Coppola.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Tyrell.
Yes.
Kirby.
Yes. 11U.
Approving a memorandum of understanding authorizing funding for the Labor Council.
Questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, this is actually also the acceptance of the MOU for the PBA and the SOA. My question is, does council want to go into executive session and be briefed on this and have some discussions before you make the final adoption of this? Everybody's been provided with a copy of it, and I think it'd be a good idea if we go into executive and come back out.
We'll take
And so everybody's fully
UNV.
briefed. We can do U and V at the same time and go into executive as a contracts. And council needs to be briefed on both.
Okay. Michael, for record, we're going to take UNV into closed session.
Very good.
Do I need a...
Yeah, I guess that's it, so. Well, you want to do the next, I guess?
Yeah.
We don't have action.
Yes.
We'll make the announcement.
Okay.
Action made will be taken on some of the issues coming out of executive.
Moving down to payment of bills. Anybody from the public have any questions or comments on paying the bills?
Mayor?
Absolutely.
Item 1 on page 9. There's 12,584. Condo fees. Iroquois Drive, $2,100.
Mr. Mitchell, I believe, I'm going to go through, I believe that's part of the Keller program.
I may be able to handle
That's the unit we took.
Mitchell, yeah, I don't think it's the unit. There was an agreement some time ago reached with the Society Hill Condo Association to help defray some of the costs on those units that were deemed restricted under code. So it was permissible, we ran it by Council on Affordable Housing, they still exist, and the monies were being paid out of the
Keller fund, housing trust fund. It's not that, it's not our general fund money. That's the Keller money that we have set aside for low-income housing.
Good.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments on paying the bills? Pay the bills? Roll call.
Baster.
Yes.
Coppola.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Tyrell.
Yes, but I'll recuse myself on PO number 1200691.
Mr. Mitchell, I may have misspoken. We can find that out. I have to speak with probably Lyndon and Devin. Council did authorize some time ago the township to actually purchase units to society using the affordable housing. That it looks like that may be fees associated with the unit. It's either that.
This is the one they lost.
You gave it to them on Section 8 or something?
That one there, Tom, just so you know, that one, I believe they actually were picking that back up, correct, Michael?
They're negotiating.
No, it's in negotiation that they're supposed to be picking that back up so it doesn't come to the township. But it, you know, as you know from reading the paper and what have you, this type of money that is in this COA trust fund, we have to use or lose.
Yeah.
So basically, we're putting it back into the community. So there is some units there. If that is exactly what this particular one is, which I believe it's the association fees, but we would pick that unit up and put that into low-income homes for the area to be able to purchase.
We can find out.
It's definitely to do with the COA with the association. Yes.
Thank you.
Bassford?
Yes.
Coppola?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes. Michael, executive session.
Yes. I'm going to add something. Four issues for executive session. The first falls under the collective bargaining agreement exception to the Open Public Meetings Act, specifically with the PDA. That also dovetails into Resolution U. I would anticipate folks' action may be taken following the executive session on that issue. Issue number 2 deals with the personnel exception to the Open Public Meetings Act, specifically the appointment of the township manager. That would dovetail into the Resolution V, authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement. With both of those situations, those minutes are going to be disseminated by court order due to the fact that there's an ongoing contractual relationship with the PDA and an ongoing relationship with the present township manager who was just appointed. The fourth issue falls under the exception 8, under the possible appointment regarding a professional service contract or the use of professional service. Those minutes can be disseminated at the time that the issue is resolved or the conclusion of that issue. I think that's it.
3 or 4.
That's 4. Did you count 4? PBA. Oh, there's one other. I counted 3. Right?
Two PBA.
The other is under the professional appointment or the appointment exception 8, the possible appointment of a acting deputy clerk. Those minutes can be disseminated when the employment relation is terminated. Action can be taken on that resolution as well.
Anything on the closed session?
Motion on closed session?
Second.
Roll call?
Bassford?
Yes.
Coppola?
Yes.
Gorman?
Yes.
Minor?
Yes.
Mandel?
Yes.
Burton?
Yes. Mr. Manager.
I just want to thank the council for the support.
And I hope that I can do the best job possible for the township. And even with the budget issues, I think I'll enjoy coming into Galloway Township. So far, my experience has been very positive. I enjoy the employees, I enjoy the people, and again, just thanks for the appointment.
Thank you. Council reports. Councilman Gorman.
I just want to welcome Arch aboard. So far, he's carried himself in a professional way, and I think he'll be a good match with Galloway Township. That'll be all tonight, Mayor.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor, just to congratulate Arch on vacation. He's doing a great job and being a strong asset to Galloway Township, so hopefully it'll bring some great stability here that we need over the past year or two.
Councilman Finer.
Welcome aboard. It's great that the best applicant was the one we already had, so we don't have to go through it again. But
Good.
well, you know, it's nice having somebody who can really grab the reins and get to work, and didn't take him any time at all, Arch, and appreciate it not having to worry about what's going on day in and day out. So we know things are handled.
Councilman Terrell.
just, welcome. Thank you for the work you've done and that you're about to do as well. And, the wealth of experience that you bring to the table is certainly needed here, and we're happy to have it. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor?
I have to echo my fellow councilman and welcome Arch. He's just, I've had the pleasure of working with him for the last few weeks here. And, if you don't know him, Arch is really a no-nonsense kind of guy. He gets right to the point. He's got a lot of experience in the municipalities, and our problems aren't unique to what he's seen before. So he's given us some good perspective on things and how to handle them, how to move forward. And I, for one, I'm really happy to have him on. I think we made the best choice. I wish we could talk more about this PBA arrangement. I guess we can wait until after closed session because it's innovative to say the least. But I'm pretty happy with that. And just a word to the general public about the budget. This isn't something that we incurred overnight. It took us a long time to get to where we are now in this process. We knew years ago, moving forward, as previous administrations were spending surplus to balance the budget, we were going to be in this situation eventually. And here we find ourselves in this situation. In my short time here on council, I've seen millions of dollars cut from the budget. I've seen scores of employees either laid off or furloughed or they're altogether positions eliminated. Believe me when I tell you that we are leaving no stone unturned. We have taken every step that we could possibly find to correct the problem, and we're not done yet. Deferring the school tax was one small step, and moving forward, we've got a plan. We're going to implement it moving forward. I can't say they're going to be happy days and sunshine ahead, but we'll get through this. On a happier note, I want to congratulate the Cedar Creek girls basketball team on their state championship. It was a great win. I remember when that began me in 05 and 06, how excited everybody was around here with them. And for such a new school to be so dominant, it's really great. I know a lot of our Galloway residents are members of that team, so congratulations to them. That's all I have tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Arch, welcome aboard. I mean, it's not welcome aboard. You've been here, as I said. My trust is with you. Galloway's trust is with you. Not that I want to shove you down so early, but you have a long road here that these people are looking for guidance, that the residents are looking for you to steer the ship. We're looking for you for your experience and knowledge. I think that, to say the least, you have a lot more knowledge and experience than anybody sitting up on this council. We agree to that. We're not professionals at this stuff. I mean, nothing for nothing, we're politicians. And I'm not proud of
elected officials.
Thank you. I think that, when people call us politicians, I scur. I'm a blue collar guy.
Politicians set policy.
Yeah. and we're looking to you for guidance also, Arch. Our form of government, the township manager runs this town day-to-day operations, and I'm looking for you to do that. I need you in that office. I need you to run this town. I need you to bring stability back to Galloway Township. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it's up here. You're going to have to jump real high, but I know you can do it. If I didn't, I wouldn't have put you in for the township manager's position. I think we would have been still looking right now. And I'm proud to have you here as township manager. Don't let the residents of Galloway Township down.
I won't.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Not much tonight. I just want to tell everybody out in the public, please go home and check your smoke detector batteries. That can't be said enough. Every morning when I wake up and listen to the news, there's fires everywhere. And there's people perishing in fires. And the firemen, they're risking their lives to go out and rescue the people that don't have smoke detectors, or they're running by a kerosene heater or whatever it might be, smoking in bed. These firemen have lives, they have families, and when that alarm goes off, it could be at 3 o'clock in the morning or at 10 o'clock during the day when people are out working. They're putting their lives on the line to protect and serve the Galloway Township or surrounding area. Just do that little favor. If you don't have a smoke detector, please go out and get one. you can't afford one, please come to the township. I know there's avenues out there to help you out. I think the fire department has some avenues. But think of your family and your pets, and also think about the firemen. The firemen are coming in to save you, and for something stupid to burn your house down and put somebody else's life in line. That's all I have. I'm going to open it up to public comment. Anybody has anything to say, please come up to the mic.
The council for being open-minded, getting a manager who has had experience as a manager. I wish to welcome the new manager.
Thank you.
And I hope that he will look at many aspects of what our Constitution grounds to. We have not had any manager since we had the change of government. We have had whatever come down the line. I've not been satisfied. If you want to look at the number of people who are employed by the township, the number of people who have increased in the township from 9,000 to about 40,000. It's something to be looked into and see if all of our departments understand what their role is in local government. I again congratulate the new manager, and I hope he will look into these things. What the increase of every department is in our township from the time that we changed government. I was on the commission, and we had a very diversified commission. We had Alex Corp, who was a businessman at the township. We had the insurance man, Mr. Resch. We had the school teacher, Lou Emmons. We had, what other guy? I forget who the heck it was. And then myself. We had 5 members look over, and we came up with the form of government that is here in Galloway Township. And I hope the manager, because he has had experience elsewhere, he has had experience and he knows what is required by the town. To keep the price down, we have gone from $19,000 for the manager to $120,000 to the last manager. Something is wrong with the township and how it's just disregarded and just give everybody a big raise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Trask.
Council, Mike Thomas, on the Galloway Town Outside 2845. I'd like to announce that we had the highest ever for the legacy grant. We had 16 kids. We had 4 went to the state. We had 1 gone to the grand prize now, chance to win anywhere from $15,000 to $60,000. So this is the second time that happened. So hopefully this kid, I was talking to Tom earlier. Her application is the best I've ever seen. I've been doing it for 12 years. I've been talking to people at Grand Lodge, and they said that their application was unbelievable. So we really have a really good shot of getting something, maybe getting to $60,000. So hopefully that'll happen. And we had the essay contest. We had to use the church to just grow. We had over 240 kids reading their essay. And what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you? It was unbelievable to hear these kids what the pledge meant to them. So we send those up to the state. We always had them when they're there. We always had a first, second, third place. So we're looking forward to that. And we moved over here now at 120 South New York Road, and we're growing. We put about 40 new members in. So we're really looking forward to seeing the council out. We're doing their installation of officers. We're going on 6 years. Been here for 6 years. Or until that time, right? I was talking to you like 6 years ago.
Been a great addition, Mike.
So, and we got the $2,000 grant. We've been helping our school next door. And this is the first year that we had a kid win the hoop shoot and went to the state. So, yeah, I mean, it's really become fun. Really, this is what we were here for, and it's starting to be really fun. So, hope to see it. I welcome Brian and Tony, you and Tom, and Jim. You've just been elected. You've been elected. The new city manager, welcome aboard. Come down and see us. I mean, it's really a nice bunch of people come out. So we're hoping to keep on growing and keep on being an asset to the community.
Mike, what's the next dinner you guys are doing down there? Because I know
fish and chips this Friday.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, we actually selected the day.
It's some pretty good food down there. I got to tell you, I down there for it. Chicken dinner.
We have good chicken down there.
We do prime rib on the first Friday of the month. But since it's Good Friday, the 30th is going to be our prime rib, and we serve fish for people who do the land.
How does somebody from the public who's interested in joining the Elks get involved down there?
Just come stop in. We're open on Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays.
And that's right down on Route 9 next to the charter school.
Charter school, 120 South New York.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, like I said, it's fun having a lodge and getting involved in the community. It's really been a fun year.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much.
Good evening, my name is Paul Shire. In reference to item S on your agenda, where you rejected the township property. My mother owns the property behind it. She was notified by the township as an adjoining property owner. We submitted a bid, I told a fair bid for the property. I was a little disappointed that the township chose not to sell the piece of property. I'm not a lawyer, I don't know all the little legal issues that were raised or whatever happened, but like I said, I was just a little disappointed that so that's within your right to do that. Right. It almost sounded like, a person in the public didn't want you to sell it, so therefore you chose not to sell it.
The truth is, Mr. Shire, your mom's represented by an attorney. The other applicant's represented by an attorney. They were notified by me weeks ago, and I thought I came up with a very reasonable resolution. The potential for litigation is still out there from both sides, so at my recommendation, the council has decided not to sell the parcel. If your attorney and the attorney of the other adjacent property owner can talk, and they need me to mediate, I'll mediate. If they can reach an agreement where this land can be sold without any litigation, any cost to the taxpayers, they may reconsider it. But right now, out of consideration to your mother and to the other person, we've decided to return their deposit monies because it's lingered now for over 30 days. It's not fair to your mom, it's not fair to the other people for us to withhold their deposit monies. And when attorneys can read something out, and they want to pick up the phone and talk to me, and we can work out something where there is no potential for litigation against the township, we're all ears. So thank you. I'm instructing my client, who was counsel, not to discuss the issue in open public. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from the public?
This is Jay. Yeah, two things. First, the Jessica Lund thing. Not from Senator Walker. He is the speaker this year, the chairperson. And thanks to you, Dennis. Kudos, Dennis. That was your barn out there. And he said that he was going to look it over, and his office or himself would get back to me. So we got that underway. I got a letter from Senator Connors saying that he is on board with this and that he would like to work with my committee, would like to work with me, and he's looking forward to us moving along with this. So we're going to get back to him. I spoke to you, Jim, and you reached out to both parties, and I think we both agree on what the little stipulation might be there, why this is getting held up. I was told prior to this, about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, that it's the 25-year mandatory sentencing that they seem to be a little hung up with because of the, there we go, Brian, ACLU. So, Jim said he's going to reach out again. Thank you, Jim, for putting your hand out there as well and helping us try to move along with this. Senator Sweeney was also contacted, and he's going to see what he can do about moving it along. Tell me, Dennis.
He said basically him and Donald work very closely together, so if it comes out of committee, he'll post it for a vote on the floor. It has to get out of committee.
And it looks hopeful.
Well, it's got to be, the bill that's submitted now needs an amendment. It needs to be amended in both houses of the legislature. So if the Senate changes it, it's got to get resubmitted to the Assembly the same way, and they both got to come out together, or it's not going to go anywhere. But Steve's on board with it in theory. It just has to get to the point where he can post it for vote.
Okay.
So if Donald's going to work on it, he'll work on it, and it should get to fruition by the end of this year. So
I have confidence that he's going to call me. He seems like a very nice person. Last council meeting, we were supposed to write a letter. Did we get there?
Not yet, Mrs. J.
Okay. We'll have to move on that. I know you've got a lot of other things to do. Second thing is the post office. The post office is in jeopardy of being closed, correct, March?
Yeah, we're evaluating the finances there now and see how viable it's going to be in the short term and the long term.
I have figures here. I think, did you get them?
I have most of the data. It's just, we're right on the margins. And you know, why don't you just bring up some of the things that we discussed, and maybe we can work together and see what we can do.
Right.
One of the things that we're right on the margins with the post office. The post office obviously provides a service in the downtown area of Galloway Township. I ran into Mrs. J the other day. She, of course, accosted me. Get used to it. But one of the things we looked at, and it was her idea, I'll give her the total credit for it, is we need to market it. And I think we need to get a little bit entrepreneurial on this. And if we're going to keep this thing open, I think we need to market it. And one of the things we're going to do is put a small campaign together called Use It or Lose It. And understanding that we get 10%, you know, of the cost going through that. And if the more customers we get through there, and the more use it gets, we have a potential to be where we can make it a moneymaker. And I'd rather see it be making money, reducing a little bit of taxes for the taxpayer, but also providing the service, and it's a win-win. So one of the things we talked about was, which was a great idea, was start an email chain, and we've got some email databases from in the building. And we'll start shooting some emails out, and people can shoot them out to everybody in the township. But let's get people using the post office. Let's make some money off of it. Let's get people back in there, and see by mid-year and the year that it's can be viable, and we can keep it open. But we got to use it or lose it.
Is there anything? I know the post office announced that they're going to be closing offices all over the country. Is there any word if anything in Galloway is going to be shut by the,
I haven't heard of anything. I spoke with the AppSeeking postmaster on some of the research I was doing, and he didn't mention, but I'll double check to see if they're projecting anything in the area.
I'd hate to close this one if OSHA or
exactly. But we want we want to compete, we want to win. If they, we want our post office to make money, and we want to keep it open. I was in there the other day, walked in to check something, and there was a line 7 deep, and there were people weighing stuff. Let's get the Christmas packages out of there. We talked about even doing some looking to post office boxes, getting traffic in and out of there. So we're going to try to work together and see if we can do something with it.
I appreciate it. I mean, Mrs. J, you know as well as we're not in the postal business. The post office can't even afford to keep their own post offices open. But if this manager has a solution, maybe with a commitment to do, I'm all ears.
It's worth a try.
I'm all there, Mrs. J.
To everybody that's out there listening, don't try when it closes if you don't use it.
Thank you.
That's the slogan. That's the slogan. Whatever you want, well, that's the motto. Use it or lose it. And then when it's gone, we will never ever be able to open another post office again.
Right.
So everybody has to understand that. If you lose it, it is gone forever.
Yes.
There is no way we could ever get it back again. And as I spoke to you before, this township is losing a lot of services. This is not going to sit well with the public. So if they want it, they're going to have to come out and support it.
Yes.
So this is where it stands now. If anybody out there has any suggestions, reasonable suggestions, let's not get ridiculous. Let us know.
Thank you, Mrs. J.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. J.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Okay, one more thing. Did we renegotiate the revenue for this year with the post office?
No, we haven't. I mean, I just walked in when we received last year. Marilyn, we'll talk about that tomorrow, about see if there's some way we can boost revenues, resources from there.
Okay, because that might help.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Another thing I'd like to ask, how many people in the audience have voted today? I'm ashamed of the people that did. You're not to vote, yes or no, but get out and vote. Shut for 9 o'clock tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trask. Anybody else from the public have anything to say? Please come up to the mic. Motion adjourned, we'll go in closed session.
Action will be taken, so we'll open the doors and we're ready to move.
Thank you.